All right, so we're going to move into chapter 3, and we're going to be talking about graphs in this chapter. So hopefully you are into graphing because that's what it's going to be about. So we're going to start with talking about symmetry and how to be able to look at a graph and know what it's symmetric to, because the goal is that we're not going to be using XY charts anymore to graph, that we're going to be able to look at something and know how to graph it. So there is quite a bit of vocabulary in this one. So we're going to start out with the vocab and then go on to some examples. So this may be a two-parter just to make sure that I don't have to go too fast. I just don't want to speed things through. So symmetry is talking about, so example, if the origin is the midpoint of any segments with endpoints on the graph, where the segment must pass through the origin, then the origin is a point of symmetry. So looking at this graph, it's saying that if I pick this point up here at like 2 comma or a little less than 2 comma something, that if I connect that through the origin and I come straight through, that I hit another point on the graph, no matter what point I pick. So I could pick this point, go through the origin, I hit another point on the graph where the origin happens to be the midpoint. So think about it, if you trace this with patty paper and then you rotated it 180 degrees about the origin, it would land right on top of itself. That's something that is symmetrical with respect to the origin. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. And then it has point symmetry. So then the next one we're going to talk about is when we talk about the x-axis. If we fold that parabola along the x-axis, the two halves would match exactly. And so the x-axis would be called a line of symmetry. So this means that the graph is symmetric with respect to the x-axis. So the words with respect to, you're going to see those shrunken down to WRT, just so that we save a little bit of time. So if I pick a point above here on the graph and I go perpendicular to the x-axis, I'll hit a point below the graph where that point where it crosses the x-axis is the midpoint. And so we would say that the x-axis is the perpendicular bisector of that red segment. Ooh, that's some geometry talking there. So it makes a 90-degree angle and it goes through the midpoint. All right, so this W here, if I fold that W across the y-axis, then the two halves would match exactly. And so what we're going to do is we would say that the graph is symmetric with respect to the y-axis. And if I pick this point Q on the left and I go perpendicular to the y-axis and an equidistant on the other side, we would get Q prime that lands on that graph. So notice that y-axis makes a 90-degree angle with the segment, and it happens to go through the midpoint, cutting that segment exactly in half. So when that happens, that means that the graph, no matter what point I pick, if I can make that happen, then the graph is symmetric with respect to the y-axis, and that the y-axis is the perpendicular bisector of that red segment. All right, so this graph of these two parabolas here, if I fold them along that green line, which is the line y equal x, so the slope is 1 and the y-intercept is at 0, do you see that the two parabolas would lay right on top of each other? And so that means that they are symmetric with respect to the line y equal x. So in Algebra 2, I'm not sure if you still talk about this, but if you talked about inverses, this is a graphic example of how to find the inverse of a function. So one of those parabolas is the inverse of the other. So notice when I pick this vertex here and I go perpendicular to the green line, and then I hit this vertex here, this green line is perpendicular to the red segment and it goes through the midpoint. So it is the perpendicular bisector of the red segment. If I switch the parabola to the left, then if I fold it along this green line, it would land right on top of itself. And notice this is a line y equals negative x because the slope is negative and it goes through the origin. And so that means that the line y equal x, the graph is symmetric with respect to that line. So if I take from this vertex perpendicular to this line, connecting it to the graph on the other side, you'll notice that this line goes through the midpoint of that red segment, and it doesn't matter which point we pick. If we go perpendicular to that line, we will find another point on the second graph, and that line y equal negative x will be the perpendicular bisector of that segment. Okay, so pause the video for a moment and I want you to determine what kind of symmetry does this graph have. So you're thinking about the origin, the x-axis, the y-axis, the line y equal x, and the y equal negative x. All right, so a circle centered at 0, 0 is a very special kind of graph because it really has every single type of symmetry. So if I fold this circle along this diagonal line, it would fold on top of itself. So it is symmetric with respect to the line y equal x. And because if this is, let me think about what I'm trying to say. If I take this point and I go through the origin, and I hit the point on the other side and the origin is the midpoint, it is also symmetric with respect to the origin. Got a little ahead of myself there. And then this one, I picked the same point and I went perpendicular to the x-axis and I hit this other side. And because the x-axis is the perpendicular bisector of that red segment, we are also symmetric with respect to the x-axis. If we take that same point and go perpendicular to the y-axis and hit the other side, notice that the y-axis would go through the midpoint of that segment. And so it is symmetric with respect to the y-axis. If I folded the circle along the y-axis, it would land right on top of itself. And then what I was hinting at, that same green line, if I extend that out, that's the line y equal x. And if I folded on that line, the circle would lay on top of itself. And so then it is symmetric with respect to the line y equal x. And then if I draw on the line y equal negative x and I fold the circle along that orange line, it would lay on top of itself. So it is also symmetric with respect to the line y equals negative x. So the next thing we need to do is figure out algebraically, how can I figure this out if I don't want to have to keep folding paper every single time? So if a graph is symmetric with respect to the y-axis, then it is an even function. So notice if the parabola comes off of the vertex at x equals 0, then it's no longer symmetric with respect to the y-axis. So that means that even though the exponent is even, it's not an even function. So like I said, the converse is not necessarily true. Not all functions of even degree are symmetric to the y-axis. Next, if a graph is symmetric with respect to the origin, then it is an odd function. So an odd function means if I trace it and then I rotate it 180 degrees about the origin, it'll fall right on top of itself. But the converse, again, is not true necessarily. Not all odd degree functions are symmetric with respect to the origin. All right, so here's that algebra that I was talking about. So if we want to be symmetric to the origin, we're going to start with this control group where I plug in the point A comma B. And then to be symmetric with respect to the origin, if I plug in negative A comma negative B, I'm going to get the same equation. When it comes to the x-axis, and then if you can see my picture, I don't know if you can, but if I want to be symmetric with respect to the x-axis, do you see the x part of my thumb is staying the same, but the y part is changing. So I'm going to take my control of A comma B, and then I'm going to add in the point A comma negative B, and if I can get the same equation for both, then that means it's symmetric to the x-axis. Then if I try to do the y-axis, do you see that my thumb is keeping the same height, but the x is changing? So to be symmetric with respect to the y-axis, I'm going to compare my control point of A comma B to what happens when I substitute negative A comma B. And if I get the same equation, then I know the graph is symmetric with respect to the y-axis. If it's the line y equal x, remember we talked about inverses. The way to find an inverse is to switch the A and the B. So I'm going to start with my control point of A comma B, and then I'm going to test the point B comma A. And if they both work, then if I folded the actual graph along the line y equal x, then it would lay right on top of itself. Similarly with y equals negative x, it's the same test, but instead of B comma A, I'm going to test negative B comma negative A. So take a moment to write those down in your notes. And let's go ahead and put this to work. All right, so these first two questions are really only asking if it's going to be symmetric with respect to the origin. So it's not worrying about all the others, just the origin. So make sure that you read the directions carefully to see what it's asking. And remember, anytime we see f of x, we're just saying y equals, and then we know that that's going to be a function. So when I substitute for my control, that means x is going to be equal to a and y is going to be equal to b. And so that means that b is equal to negative 12 over a. Now I'm going to hold that thought for a minute, and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to substitute for this one. So this means that my x value is negative a and my y value is negative b. And so I get negative b is equal to negative 12 over negative a. And then the question is, can I get these to be the same? So I'm going to be honest with you, when we have these fractions, they start to look different, even sometimes when they are the same. So we're going to go ahead and multiply both sides by a so that we can get rid of this denominator and make it the simplest form, which is going to be a times b is equal to negative 12. So if I can get this equation to match this top equation, then I know that I have symmetry with respect to the origin. So coming over here, first thing I notice is we can cancel those negatives. So I have negative b is equal to 12 over a. And then I can multiply both sides by a. And so a times negative b is just negative ab equal to 12. So right now, they don't match, but they're pretty darn close. So if I divide both sides by negative 1, do you see that the negative cancels here? And I get a times b is equal to negative 12. Okay, so because I could get my control group here to be the same as this equation here, then that tells me that we're symmetric with respect to the origin. All right, so I went ahead and I graphed the original equation in Desmos to show you that if we took a piece of tracing paper and we traced the x and the y axis and we traced that graph and we rotated 180 degrees, it would fall right on top of itself. And so we agree it is symmetric with respect to the origin. All right, so this next graph is going to be y is equal to x to the 5th minus 2. So if I substitute a for x and b for y, we get b is equal to a to the 5th minus 2. And so then if we come over here, if I plug in my y value of negative b and I plug in my x value of negative a, I'm putting that in parentheses because the negative is being taken to the 5th power as well. Then if I start to simplify this, I get negative b is equal to, and then a negative to an odd power stays negative, so it's negative a to the 5th minus 2. Now, this b and this a, they're the wrong sign, so I'm going to go ahead and multiply everything through by negative 1. And when I do that, I get positive b is equal to positive a to the 5th plus 2. And here's the problem. When I take a look at this one here, it does not match this one here. One is negative 2 and one is positive 2. So this one is not symmetric with respect to the origin, whereas this one is symmetric with respect to the origin. So I'm going to hop over to Desmos real quick and show you why that's true. And so I went ahead and graphed this, and notice this has an intercept right here at negative 2. So if I traced this graph onto a piece of patty paper and I rotated it 180 degrees, do you see that it would go through this point at positive 2 instead of negative 2, just like you saw with the work that we did? And so that means it's not going to lay right on top of itself, and therefore it's not symmetric with respect to the origin. So I'm going to pause here and we'll go over the other types of symmetry in part 2 of the video.